Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joanne Kandrak and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is episode 64 of Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, and we are talking about Highpoint Market. This is part 2 of our discussion. Before we get started, we just want to let you all know that this podcast is sponsored by Dowell Furniture Company. You may have listened to a recent episode where we chatted with the owners, who were brother and sister Joanne and Ray, and their company sources directly from their family factory in the Philippines, where they've been making fine furniture for over 30 years. But what's cool about them is that they collaborate with interior designers in creating licensed furniture collections that showcase each designer's point of view. So we love their product. Their approach to furniture design has led to a lot of products coming out in residential and commercial projects in national publications. So if you're a designer listening, you can apply to their trade program on their website, which is Dowell, Dowel, furniturecompany.com. And they've got a lot of cool benefits, trade discounts, flat rate shipping. They have expedited customer service. And all their products can be customized with COM, COL, fabric, and finish color matching is also available. And they do it all in 8 to 10 weeks. So check them out, dowelfurniturecompany.com.
Okay, so this is Joanne, and we are coming back with Highpoint Market information. There's so much to talk about, this, which is why we broke this up into 2 parts. So if you didn't listen to part 1, you might want to go back. It would be episode 58, and listen to that one first. So we'll quickly reiterate a few important details about that. So Highpoint Market, the largest home furnishings trade show in the world.
It's amazing.
Over 75,000 people come to Highpoint every 6 months to view product from more than 2,000 exhibitors. It happens in the spring and the fall, and the upcoming show is coming up very soon, October 19th to the 23rd. So if you haven't registered yet, you can still do it at highpointmark.org/register.
So in episode 58, we talked a lot about the logistics of Highpoint, where to stay, where to eat, how to get around. So this show is going to be a little bit different. We're going to dig deeper, and we're going to let you know about some of our favorite showrooms, new news coming out from the Highpoint Market Authority, and some really great educational opportunities. So there's so much to talk about, and we're going to have all this in our show notes, so don't freak out if you're trying to write stuff down. But let's just start off with one thing that we thought was really cool is, so in the evening, Highpoint Market Authority has a lot of programming, and they've kind of rebranded this into, it was every night they would have a concert series, and they're still doing that. But now what they've done is, in the area between Showplace and the transportation terminal, there's this big expanse of kind of big walkway, and there's going to be new festivities there that they've dubbed Eats and Beats, where there's going to be lots of outdoor seating and fire pits, and they're going to have 2 kind of design lounges sponsored by Crate and Barrel and CB2 that'll have music, giant outdoor games, cocktails, DJ, and then they'll still have the 2 concerts this fall. It's T-Sisters and then Mandolin Orange. So it's hopping.
I think it's so great that they do this because your energy really gets drained.
Yes.
And this is one of those areas where you walk by and you can hear the music, and there's a lot of buzz, and there's a lot of just sitting around and chatting, and it's a good break from walking the showrooms, and I just love the energy. So even if you're starting to, wane, you can get to this area, and then it gets, you get that energy again.
I love that Highpoint Market Authority is always working really hard to revive and rejuvenate the market.
And make it a great experience
for the buyers. They really do. It's all about the experience.
Yeah. So the other thing to keep your eye out for is the Style Spotters. This is a great program. This is 8 design and fashion leaders who showcase their top new styles for each market. So look for their black and white cards on products throughout the market. We were Style Spotters 2 years ago, and it was for 2 years. It was a lot of fun, but a lot of work. So this year's Style Spotters are Shayla Koppis, Kara Cox, Cynthia Ferguson, Eric Hadel, Benjamin Johnson, Courtney McLeod, Laura Thurman, and Aaron Valencic. So this group will be hosting trend tours. So look those up too, because some of these require some reservations.
Yeah. And then another thing to really be on the lookout for is the Design Bloggers Tour, which is hosted by Highpoint Market Authority and Esteem Media, which is our buddy Adam Japko, who's been on our show before. And so the Design Bloggers Tour is going to bring a couple things. Leading design bloggers to Highpoint Market for a 2-day tour of sponsoring showrooms. So these bloggers are going to be featuring all that they learned on their individual blogs and social media accounts. So this is just another way. If you can't attend market, look for these bloggers from the Design Bloggers Tour and look at all the things they saw and how they talked about it. So this year, the designers that are on this tour are Sarah Malik-Barney, Lawrence Carr, Lori Dennis, Tim Green, Donna Mancini, Amy Mitchell, Rachel Moriarty, Lisa Peck, Sarah Noble, and Deborah Von Donop.
I mean, look at all those eyes that are going to be
it's
the
a
eyes
lot
for
of
other people.
Viewpoints and
So if you can't go, like Kelly said, go onto our show notes so you can get the correct spelling and everything of these bloggers, and you can get really great information on what they've seen. And they're leading people out there. They've got a good eye.
Yep.
And then the other thing, which is new this year, is the Highpoint Market Brand Ambassadors. And these are our friends, Jackie Von Tobel and Deb Barrett. They will be hosting a new buyer-focused 5-day tour that will give, people that are coming for the first time a total immersion. If I was brand new to Highpoint, this is the very first thing I would sign up for.
Absolutely.
They have been going to Highpoint for years, taking groups for years, and it's really a great way to be focused and not just kind of wander the halls aimlessly if you've never been there.
And they're really fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great thing that they've been officially appointed. I think they're going to do a great job. So next, and this is going to be a long list, but you guys, there's so much good stuff. And when you are at Highpoint, when you come to Highpoint Market, do not make the mistake of going and spending every minute of your day looking at product. Your feet and your brain will appreciate you changing gears. So, and also, I mean, we're very spoiled in Atlanta. We have the Atlanta America's Mart. We have ADAC. We have Scott's Antique Mart. We have so much here where we get a lot of education, a lot of information, but so many people are not in big cities like us. So this is an incredible opportunity. So a couple things, look for events at the Point, and you can check out that website. Again, it'll be in our show notes, but highpointmarket.org/plan your trip /the Point. So the Highpoint Theater is another great location. Market Suites and tons of showrooms also have individual events. There's just a lot of good ones. So we're going to kind of go through just a portion, which is, you're going to laugh when you hear how many we're going to talk about, of the ones that we thought were cool and that we have our eyes on. So starting on Friday at 8:30 in the morning, breakfast with Tom Felicia at Pandoras Manor to celebrate 25 years in business, and it's sponsored by Eastern Accents. And I pulled this one out for two reasons. One, because Tom Felicia is hilarious.
And so cute.
And so approachable. And also, Pandoras Manor is a little bed and breakfast that's been designed by designers in our circles, and it's supposed to be absolutely adorable, and I've never walked in it.
Yeah.
So that would be fun to go to breakfast there.
Okay, then Saturday at 10 a.m. At Alden Parks. From setbacks to success, how to manage and grow your design firm in the face of diversity. And that's with our friend Tracy O'Connell. Every time you go to these, you learn a little bit something new. All of us that are designers, we all deal with the same things. Whether you are a small firm or a very large firm, we have a lot of the same pain points. So it's good to listen to some of these things and understand how other people may handle, some of these issues, and to just learn how to grow your firm based on what other people are doing as well.
And I think it's such a relief to go to these. Sometimes I remember there was one, I can't remember who the designer was, but in my eyes, they were, bigger than God, and they had the same issues that we had. And all of a sudden I felt normal, Mm-hmm. So it was good. So this is what happens at Highpoint. There's tons of events at the same time. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, you have to kind of pick
So you
and
got to
choose.
pick and choose. So at the exact same time as Tracy's event, at 10 o'clock on Saturday at Woodbridge Furniture, a place we love. There's a little talk called Coffee with Creatives with Toby Fairley and Laura Leese. And they're gonna be chatting about how they built their brands, how they built their collectives, and all while both of them being busy moms. I think between them they have like 5 or 6 kids or something. So that'll be great to just sit down in an intimate environment and hear from them.
The other nice thing is sometimes we've gone to go to one of these talks and they're in a showroom that we've never been to or have never heard of.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was like, wow, we've never been in that showroom. And we've ended up opening up accounts because they were in showrooms that were just not on our radar.
That happened last year with Alden Parks.
Yeah. And Woodbridge, amazing company.
I think we very first went to Woodbridge because
of Toby.
Toby had a collection there. And we're like, well, let's go support her. And we went, and now we buy tons of stuff from Woodbridge. We would have never walked in there without her. So.
Yeah. So right after that, Saturday at 11 at Fairfield Chair, Libby Tells All, product design with Libby Langdon, sharing her experiences and advice for designing product for a target audience. Libby has so many lines, but she is probably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in Highpoint. She's from Highpoint. And she's doing a new collection with Fairfield Chair, who I don't believe has ever had anybody licensed. And she's doing headboards and some new things. And Fairfield Chair we use a lot for our commercial projects because they have both. So I would definitely
she's so dynamic and fun.
Yep.
I wouldn't miss her. And she's bringing beds to Fairfield Chair, which is their very first time. So that's pretty cool. She's doing that.
And then same thing at the same time, though. At 11, New Growth Designs, Styling Secrets. This is really good information, too, if you do some of the styling for your own, photography. Behind the scenes tips for fabulous photos with Stacy Kunstl.
She's so awesome.
Yeah, she's great. She's also the owner of Dunes and Duchess, which is a beautiful
furniture line and accessories. She is so talented. She's so fashion forward. She's been working for the magazines for many years, and that's a good one too. So, but what's nice is if you find yourself, all the way on the other side of Highpoint and you're like, oh, I can't get to Fairfield Chair, but I'm closer to New Growth. I'll go to, Stacy's, so you can still work her through. Now, there is a series of keynotes talks called the Design Viewpoint series, and they are at the Highpoint Theater, and they're all good. I'm going to pull out, I think, 2 of them, but they're all really good. The Highpoint Theater is really comfortable, really nice and cold or warm, depending on what the temperature is in Highpoint. This one's Saturday at 12, and it's Cultivating Industry Relationships to Build Your Brand panel. And this is with Michelle Smith-Boyd, Amy Farrer, Amy Fleury, and Jane Dagme. Like, 4 of our most favorite people. 4
of the nicest people.
Yeah. That's going to be a really, really good one. They get around, let's say. So I would love to hear everything they have to say.
Then Saturday at 1 at Lexington, which is kind of, I don't know if that one's off the beaten path or if that is at the Lexington that's right at you'll have to probably figure out where this one is because Lexington is off the beaten path, but they serve an incredible lunch.
And they have free shuttles to their location. I would bet that's at the big one only because this one's called On the Record. It's an unfiltered discussion about the interior design business with Jane Dagme again, Barclay Butera, and Pamela Giacarino. And I would imagine there's going to be a crowd. They'll be at the bigger one. Yeah.
Then Saturday at 3.
Back at Alden Parks.
What's the price of fame? Defining your brand, securing your niche, and saving your sanity. And that's with Kimberly Ray, Shannon Jem, Andre Hilton, Patty Johnson, Keita Turner, Philip Galata, and Hannah Toney. Wow.
That's really interesting because I think in our industry, you see a lot of designers getting licensing agreements and being brand ambassadors and starting their own collections. And sometimes you just really want to say,
what's the price of that?
How's it going? Like, are you making any money? Is it worth it? How are you managing your regular business when you're doing all that? And I think a lot of these more intimate conversations, they do talk about that. I remember Michelle Smith Boyd talking at the Design Bloggers Conference about his latest show on HGTV, and he turned down a lot of TV shows before he picked that one. But he was still first to say,
it took time away from his business.
It's really made him struggle a little bit with his current clients to take on that responsibility. And it was nice to just hear the real,
the real deal.
The real deal, yeah.
Okay, so Sunday at 10, again at the Highpoint Theater, duplicable systems are the foundation of your design firm. And that's with Luann Nigera, who's got an amazing podcast, Laura Amansky, and Kate O'Hara. And I think systems and organization are sometimes not what designers are known for. They're, maybe a little artsy and they don't. But having been in business for 14 years, Kelly and I also having, a business background, in order to be profitable, you have to have systems. You have to be organized. And so that'll be a really good one.
I think that's going to be great. That is one that I wouldn't miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Darn, it can't be at the same time because it's at the Highpoint Theater. Look up Stop Giving Away Your Profits with Kristen Drohan, Veronica Solomon, and Cheryl Cleese Clendenden. I can never say your last name, Cheryl, and I love you so much. But that's another one I wouldn't miss. Those are three sassy, smart businesswomen in our world, and we talk a lot about them in our private interior design groups. They're very giving with all of their information, so I wouldn't miss that one.
Yeah, and so part of that Designer Viewpoint series at the Highpoint Theater again Sunday at noon. Sarah Walker, Julia Buckingham, Barclay Butera, and Scott Meacham Wood. If you don't know any of them, this is a great one to see too. They're all very, very smart, very successful business people.
And they're talking about translating your brand to online retail. So all of them have lines that they're selling retail, and that would be really interesting to hear about how it's going, how they ventured into that space, if they like it better than regular design work, or if it's a good compliment, what have you.
Yeah.
So that's a lot on Sunday. I want to say I probably messed up the times. I think it's Sunday at 10, Sunday at 11, and Sunday at 12. So you could park yourself at the Highpoint Theater for several hours on Sunday. So then back at 2 o'clock, back at Alden Parks. Alden Parks, way to go. Mm-hmm. You know what? This is what they did last year. Mm-hmm. They packed it in with seminars and great events, and it got a lot of designers into their showroom for the first time. But this one's called Out of the Box, Non-Conventional Ways to Grow Your Design Business. And it's with Denise McGahey, Tish Mills, Joni Vanderslice, and Beth Dempsey. And, I was telling Joanne as we were putting this together, I was really kind of impressed with us. I'm going to brag for just a minute that literally of all these people speaking, I think we know about 90% of them and are really friends with so many of them. So we must get around. Mm-hmm. But so we can just speak very authentically to you and tell you that these are really, really going to be great.
Okay, then also on Sunday at 3:30 at Market Square Seminar Room, Building Your Brand with Private Label versus Licensing. A lot of people want to understand how this works. So there's Charlotte Lucas, Lene Jones, Jennifer Mabley, Austin Handler, Ray Halloray, and Jill Wage.
I wouldn't miss that one.
Yeah, such a great one. Jill Wage with Traditional Home.
I wouldn't miss that one. Mm-hmm. I think Charlotte Lucas does the most amazing design work, as does Jennifer and Austin, who are married. They're in the Hamptons, and they just do an amazing job.
Then Sunday at 2 p.m. at the Red Egg.
So it's Pitching with Purpose by Amy Fleury, but it's a very small group. So there's only 12 people only in this little group of hers.
So do you need to register for that?
I think you do. So look that one up, Pitching with Purpose. But Amy Fleury, she has a book that we adore.
Recipe for Press. She's got two of them.
Recipe for Press. Sorry, brain dump there. And I love her as a speaker. We were with her at Design Experience in Highpoint, and she's got a lot to offer.
She gives a lot of very good information on how to pitch. Some really very basic but smart ways to pitch if you're interested in getting published.
I haven't been to the Red Egg. I'm wondering if that location is just small, and that's why it's such a small group. But that would be totally awesome to be in there with just 12 people.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. I mean, all these are free. So it's just an amazing opportunity for everybody. So.
Wait, back at Alden Parks.
Gosh, again.
That's Monday,
Wow, look at
though.
them go.
Monday morning at
Jamming
10.
it. Yeah.
The senses of luxury. Luxury is not defined in regards to how we live necessarily. How we live, not necessarily by labels.
I love that.
That's a good one. Jeannie Chung, Aaron Valencic again, Tracy Zeller, and Krista Rospund. Yep, these are all such great
Right?
topics.
So good. And all these women and just a few men sprinkled in here, Scott and Michelle, are really good. So then Monday at 2 at Universal. This one I wouldn't miss either. Don't Sleep on Pinterest, a discussion with Adam Japko and Kyla Herbs, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, sorry, of House of Hipster blog. What a great name for a blog. And I would not miss that one because, as we all know, Pinterest is a big player in our world of SEO. And
Adam Japko, he's such a great speaker.
he's very entertaining always.
Yes. All right. So now we're just going to go through some of the showrooms that we frequent, that these are always on our list that we don't miss when we go to Highpoint. And the first one is Vanguard Furniture, which it was probably one of our biggest
Upholstery lines.
Upholstery lines. And case goods.
And case goods too. We do a ton of custom work with Vanguard.
And they are who we saw. If you listen to our podcast on the designer experience when we went to Asheville, we went to their factory and watched how it was made. And it just, I mean, we loved their quality to begin with, but to see it actually being made was really a treat. And we love Vanguard. They're about 3 floors. Big.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
Wouldn't miss it.
A great one.
Wouldn't miss it.
Yeah.
So then the other one we never miss is Theodore Alexander. They have, again, collections with lots of designers. Their collections range from very traditional, like with Alexa Hampton, to very contemporary, and then lots in between. They have the best food of any showroom in all of Highpoint, and we never miss their collections are really awesome.
Yeah. Bernhardt is like a staple for us too. They always bring out a lot of new introductions. You really need to, walk around with your rep or somebody who who's our person? Who's our PR person?
Well,
marketing
we
person?
usually
Heather.
go with
Heather Eidenmiller. She's one of their marketing people, and you really need somebody to show you because it's so big and there's so much new product, and it gets better and better and better every year.
And then there's brands like Visual Comfort Lighting that we don't miss. Curry is our go-to lighting manufacturer. And these companies, as we talked about in our first Highpoint discussion, they're coming out with new collections every single market. It's really the most amazing thing when you think about something has to be born, it has to be designed, but then it has to be manufactured, and then it has to be manufactured in mass to be ready to be sold and in stock. So truly, it's just amazing to me to see them push out new collections.
Yeah, well, they're working all the time. So as soon as Highpoint Market in October is over, they're working on the next collection that they're going to feature in April.
No, they're probably already working on April because they've been ready for this show for a while.
True.
So Lexington is another one that we don't want to miss. They're, like we said, we're off the beaten path, but you can always pick up their shuttle. It's right next to the IHFC building, kind of up from Curry a little bit. There's usually a Lexington van waiting right there. They have an amazing lunch, amazing dinners, and they're
beautiful showroom.
They're beautiful showrooms.
And there's the Anywhere shuttles too. Like you'll see the white vans that have the little flags on them, and they're called Go Anywhere, and they will literally take you anywhere. in related to Highpoint. Phillips Collection, which we talked about as well, that we went to see their warehouse and factory right there in Highpoint. They have unique, beautiful,
so fun,
amazing things. So
and
Phillips
they have that
Collection.
moonshine and whiskey event that we never miss.
Yes.
So. And then Row is another staple for us. It's kind of a more of a budget line for us, I would say, but I don't mean that in a bad way at all. It's really a go-to for us because we do a lot of high-low design, and we love their showroom. And of course, we love lobster roll Sundays, but we never miss Row. And then of course, my personal favorite are the temporaries, because that's where kind of the up and coming vendors are, the ones that don't aren't in a big fancy flashy showroom, and I think their stuff is new and exciting, and I love to walk the aisles at the temporaries.
So much creativity, and we get to meet a lot of fun people. It's really good to find new things, because we get tired of the same old things.
Very tired.
So what going to Highpoint is like a burst of energy for the new stuff.
And just another reminder, we talked about it in the first episode, but when you want a brain break and you just want to get away, go to the Designer Show House in Highpoint. It's always excellent, and there's shuttles going the whole time, and I wouldn't miss it. So the only thing we're not going to have time to get to on this episode is all of the parties that we usually attend.
There's a lot.
Yeah, so we're going to have all of this information compiled and organized in our handy dandy little booklet that we carry with us. So if you're interested in getting your hands on our personal list, give us a buzz at podcast@candrack-cole.com, and we will let you know all about it and how to get it, and we'll send it to you.
Yeah. The other thing is the Highpoint Market.
So we'll have the parties in that, is my point. Yeah.
The highpointmarket.org website is fantastic, as is the app. It's very easy to download your preferred showrooms, events, and make yourself a little schedule.
It's amazing the amount of information they have in there, and the app is so easy to use. So, for example, if you go to the show notes of this podcast and you're like, yeah, they talked, okay, I want to go to that one. You can pull it up in the app and just click on it, and it goes right into your own little personal schedule. So I would recommend that.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a lot of information. Okay.
Quote time.
All right, I'm going to say the funny quote because this is so me that I laughed out loud.
I bet it's so everybody.
Okay, because when I go to the grocery store, I have the best of intentions every single time. I really do. So here we go. I almost left the grocery store without buying a bag of spring mix to throw unopened into the garbage in 2 weeks. Right? It gets like all
more like 2 days.
It gets like all flat and it gets a little watery, and I had great intentions.
Yeah,
but
it's not good.
Yeah.
Okay, this serious quote, and this is so true. You don't get paid by the hour. You get paid for the value you bring to the hour. I mean,
right on, sister.
Yeah. You could be fast. You could be slow.
It's what you bring to the hour.
Yeah.
We just spent 5 days in Round Top, Texas at the antique show. So we just got in last night. We're a little sleepy. But what we learned and what we saw, and it just, every event that we do like that, I feel like we're more valuable.
Yeah.
Our hour gets more valuable by the minute.
We're gonna talk about this on an upcoming podcast because we can't wait to tell you all about it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah. So highpointmarket.org, it's really going to be an awesome show, and we hope that you all go and experience it and buy a lot.
And if you're interested in our secret tips and all of our information, just reach out to us via email at podcast@candrack-cole.com.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Join Joanne and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram @CandrackCole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at candrack-cole.com for more information.